Siri, remind me to do the Glad You Game icon for stream on Wednesday. Yeah.
So you're gonna do it when you're blacked out.
Oh fuck. Change it to Tuesday.
Because Wednesday's St. Patrick's Day. You should keep it Wednesday and do the logo when you're like
Blasted.
just straight blasted. All right, so I'm gonna start recording. Stop. Get all that racist shit out of your system so we can record. All right,
All right, it's out.
Don't be a fucking Myers Leonard. All right, glad you game. All right. All right, let's talk games. Not Myers Leonard, by the way. We'll just say he's a piece of shit.
Yeah,
pretty fucked up. Dude doesn't know how to play COD, and he says some fucked up shit. We don't appreciate that here. And we're going to move past that because this is going to be a happy pod. We don't need to spend any more time on some dumbasses who can barely play in the NBA anymore and have very outdated thoughts on how people should be and those kind of slurs. So fuck that guy. We don't believe in that kind of shit. And let's get a move on to some topics that people do like. And what I'm talking here is a little Vin Diesel, the human thumb.
Who doesn't like a little Vinny D?
The human thumb, baby. I mean, it
also
just looks
known
like,
as Groot.
Yeah. Nope, that wasn't Groot line, but it was close. But yeah, so let's talk Vinny G. So we thought it was weird when he was playing Arc 2, and in the Arc 2 trailer, he was like in it. And it was like, what the fuck is he doing the Arc? Why is he in the Arc 2 trailer? Remember that from the...
Yeah.
I think that was a PlayStation event. Was that what it was from?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen this or you heard about this?
I have. I have heard about it. I have seen it.
From
yeah, it was like the PlayStation, or no, it was a Game
Awards.
No,
I meant
Game
Awards.
Awards.
Yeah, it was the Game Awards, you're right. No, I meant the. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? It's from something. I don't remember. Anyways, so we got a little more info on why. So one, he's also producing. He's executive producing Arc 2. So that's
executive producing.
Yeah, EP-ing, if you will.
Also said something about like how many hours he's put in.
Right. So there, I guess what really got him into it is he put over 1,000 hours into the original.
Damn.
But, yeah. I hope that's true. I hope he's not full of shit, and I like to believe it. The only reason I think he might be full of shit is because of he did this with D&D and Joe Magniello.
Yes.
I
don't know how to pronounce his last name either.
He's with Sofia Vergara from Modern Family. Anyways,
we'll do a little tag team where Justin gets first names.
Yeah,
and I get second names.
Exactly. Basically, so he's like a hardcore D&D guy, Joe Magniello. Yeah. Sure. Marshmallow. And anyways, he has like everybody in Hollywood knows he's like the D&D guy, and it's not like he's full of shit with it. Like he's been playing the same campaign I think for like 20 years, and he's like very intense about it.
Yeah.
So on one of the interviews he was talking, like I heard Vin Diesel plays that, and he's like, does he? Because I know everybody that plays in Hollywood, and people would know. And he like heavily hinted that Diesel does not play, and he just did it because that fucking Last Witch Hunter movie came out. So he did it like a couple times for the Last Witch Hunter thing. But it doesn't really count that you D&D.
And it's also like, what games is he playing? Because it's like, if he has something that he plays with college friends every once in a while, then you could still be a D&D fan, but not like part of the it crowd in Hollywood. So I'll give him a little leeway, and he's really the only one that could speak to like whether or not he's actually played as much as he says he does.
Yeah, but I did find
I think people like to pat themselves on the back and be part of the cool kids. Which it's amazing that we're in a place right now where D&D is part of the cool kids.
Yeah. But, it used to be like, I mean, like you watch like Stranger Things is a great example. Like they were made fun of and like supposed to be the outliers, the outcasts.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, you don't play D&D? It's like cool because it's all those fucking hipsters, which I still don't like. But it's like they made it cool. Well, we made it cool, but they like were like, yeah, it's cool. And it's like, no, you don't tell me it's cool. Like, I don't need you to tell me it's cool. It is cool. Right? Not ironically cool. It's just very cool without that. But anyways, not to go on whole other thing. But so there's a couple other interesting facts about Arc 2. Arc 2 is, he's EPing it. He apparently put 1,000 hours in to Arc 1. For example, in December, berries will no longer tame the Ferox with our next major deployment. Thank you very much for reporting this bug. Basically, it was a bug in the game where one of the things you could tame an animal with these certain type of berries, which you shouldn't have been able to tame. It was like, thank you for this bug report.
Anything that has like
retweeted-
feral built into the name of the animal itself.
It's not fair. It's FEROX.
Yeah, but like I feel like it alludes
Right.
to feral.
Yeah, so they retweeted it. Ark did and said, by the way, Vin Diesel's the one who reported this bug. So, which I thought, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. All right. So anyway, so he does play a lot. So I'm glad to see that. But it's also not just Vin Diesel, which is like kind of crazy. It's Ark 2 is David Tennant and Russell Crowe are also in the game.
That's freaking awesome.
Which is crazy because also if you've played the first game,
do they have EP credits? EP is executive producer, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think so. It doesn't say that. But also that's like really weird because if you play the first game, there's no real like story. There kind of is with like the gems and you can like teleport and shit like that. But a lot of it, I feel like people don't even know that exists. It's almost like people don't realize there's actually like a storyline in Minecraft. They think it's just building shit, but there actually is like,
oh yeah, there's like a whole
the Ender Dragon and all that kind of shit. I feel like Ark is very similar with that because you can play it for a long time and not realize there's like anything larger than like just in my own little world, building my house and taming my farm. And I don't know why I did that, but it is really cool when you go beyond that. So it's pretty sweet that they're kind of like creating this to be a larger thing. I'm just curious because I can't remember a single voice line from it. So it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Which is why I was taken aback when in the trailer when it showed Vin Diesel and like all these people. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? So maybe this is going to be more heavily, it's going to be like the same open-ended like development, open world like survival. But now maybe impress a little more of the story on it, which I'm down with. I mean,
maybe like a little bit of like Borderlands 2-ish kind of thing where like you meet these very specific characters and these very specific locations, but they're not with you through normal gameplay.
Right. And that's kind of what I'm thinking too. Like if it's going to be similar to the first one, it could be the chance that I'm just making sure I'm not peeking. It could be the chance that like they don't like you play this game and you never meet any of these characters.
Yeah.
But it is crazy. I mean, like David Tennant, Vin Diesel, and Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe is probably the weirdest one.
And they're all cast as
they're voice actors.
Voice actor. Okay.
Yeah, they're all voice actors in it. So it's all like, what the fuck are you
not
voicing?
EPs as well.
No, it doesn't say that. It just says voice. It just says stars the likes of. So I don't have like a full.
Nice.
Credit.
That's awesome though, and it'll be interesting to see like how it plays out too with a lot of like Hollywood stuff. If you're an EP, that really usually just means that you're putting money up, and you don't have a lot of creative input. Like you can, but for the most part, if you're an EP, that just means that
he does. That's the thing. It's like
and that's what I was kind of getting to. Is it different for video games? And specifically,
well, it's normally not.
Different
it's normally not, but in this instance, it is because, like you said, it can be like we give it to somebody and they just like you kind of sit in your ass and you just get it and collect that back.
Make it good,
right? You kind of get that back end paycheck and that's like it. It's like how people in Hollywood just help their friends out, kind of thing.
Yep,
and they do like nothing. Then there's people that actually do what their roles like kind of intended for, which is like you could do a lot. So it sounds like that's what Vin Diesel is, because not only he apparently is going to be a title character, like so his character is like going to be somewhat prominent.
Yeah,
I don't know about the other two, but he's a character in Control, quote unquote. The name is Control. Might have. And Diesel will also oversee the connective strands for the upcoming Ark sequel and the animated series.
Well, shit. There we go.
So he's like chugging over the animated show. I think is going to be on Netflix. So it's an animated show. And it's like, dude, this guy just like, he's trying to create like the MCU of gaming. And it's like, that's kind of interesting. Yeah. It's just so weird for all of, and I'm glad he's like a genuine fan. He has thousands of hours in. I was giving him shit about D&D because I think that he is bullshit for that.
Yeah.
But this sounds like legit. And he said apparently really the CEO of Studio Wildcard, which is the developer, says that he really has put thousands of hours in. He understands, he being Diesel, he understands the game intimately and is providing direct feedback to the development process. He's already cracking down on reporting bugs in Ark, and that was like the tweet I mentioned below.
Yep.
It's just kind of crazy. The fact that he's going to oversee the animated series and the game, that's kind of cool. That when like an actor finds a game they love, I wish I was like this popular. That like some of the franchises that I love, I could be like, I've paid thousands of hours of this, and let me control, and then let me have the connective strands for your TV show and the upcoming video game. Oh my god, that's like, That'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, and it's a crazy way to get into game development, but the Diesel as the thumb has moved in.
Yeah. I also love the idea of
Probably, you know what I just realized? The second one, I guarantee the second one now it's
Gonna have hair.
David Tennant, Russell Crowe. The slogan's gonna be like R2. It's about family. And they're just gonna have like there's gonna be like a grill with like beers and stuff. Like, hey man,
Coronas
we
all
got-
day.
what's happening? We have raptor racing. It's for the family. This is like it's because of the family.
It's all about family.
Yeah, the whole R2 survival evolved. It's all about family. It's all about evolution. It's I'm sorry I cut you off there, but I just had to get off that. I was like, oh, this is a perfect opening.
Well, I think it would be a cool kind of pathway for like action stars to take, or I mean anyone in Hollywood, but basically like if you're getting too old to do your own stunts,
yeah,
I would like to see less of like the Expendables where it's just 60-year-old dudes fighting and it being like a bunch of stunt doubles and quick camera cuts the whole time, and more of like taking that name, taking that like action you're used to seeing it and putting it into video games and like building off of these people you've come to like know and love in a little less I don't know, it's a little sad to see it sometimes, to see like the people that you grew up loving as your action stars kind of can't start to get a little frayed at the edges. And
yeah, when they're like afraid. It's almost like the end of that Eddie Murphy movie. They actually make jokes about this, Bowfinger.
okay.
And he has a brother who's like not as old as him, but it's really Eddie Murphy playing a twin. And he like jokes that he's like he's just too afraid, and they jump off this like 5-foot balcony at the end, and it's supposed to be this action movie, and it's Steve Martin can't jump off of it because he's too old, and then Eddie Murphy doesn't jump off it because he's too afraid. So they slowly go down. They're like fighting doing all these kung fu fight against like 30 people. Then they like stop and they slowly get down and they continue fighting. And it's like this great like contrast of it. And that's the whole movie. That movie's actually fucking hilarious. Bowfinger. Check it out.
I have to check it out.
But it's like a classic. I think it got nominated for a bunch of shit, but yeah,
Word.
it's that kind of reminds me of what you're saying, where it's like they're almost making fun of it, being like, well, they can't do it. And they both could at the time, but they were making jokes about like people in Hollywood that can't do it.
Yes, yeah.
So,
Which yeah,
you're talking about like Arnold's like, oh, I'm gonna blast through this wall, and it's like, so it's not really Arnold blasted through the wall or something.
Yeah,
It's
or they
yeah.
make like 18 cuts to. There was one that just
To
got
make it look
posted to
like
Reddit. It was one of the Taken movies, and it is
Liam
16 cuts in 3 seconds just to make it look like Liam Neeson can climb and jump over a fence.
Yeah, it's like that's crazy.
Quickly. I'm sure he could get over it if you gave him enough time.
Right. It's like, get it. It's like, all right. Well, if we did it, it would be 5 minutes. And he's like, oh,
it reminded me of
hip.
like movies I made with my siblings when we were like 12, just because none of us could do a backflip. So we would like spin the camera around to make it look like a
backflip. Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to, because people love, they have that box office clout. So you have to keep that going, but we could still do it. It's like, dude, 70. He's not, although there's one actor that I think will never have that happen. And that's Tom Cruise. Because that dude still does his own stunts.
Yeah, he's immortal.
And he's crazy. The next Mission Impossible he's going to do it in space or whatever you're saying. And it's like, the dude's not, and he like really did like all his stunts. He like really does. Like he learned how to fly the helicopter in the last one.
Yeah.
And it's like, the dude is like, I think he has a death
I think
wish.
he learned how to do fly the jet for Top Gun, right?
He forced everybody. Those are all real jets.
That's awesome.
He forced every like Miles.
Is
Tyler?
it now?
Either way, shout out Miles Teller from hometown guy. We go to the same Wawa. But yeah, you live like he's from like 2 blocks from where we're recording.
Awesome, yeah.
Went to high school at the same time. Miles Teller. And I mean, I've never met the guy, but we probably have mutual friends. So if you're listening to this, Miles, or if Miles' friends listening, feel free to invest in Glad You Game. We can be the gaming podcast about whatever the fuck you're doing in gaming. Or just invest in us and give us money. Or make us popular. Or put us in the new Top Gun. We'll take that too.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, so he made them all like learn how to fly. So it's gonna be sweet shots. But
has
he's
that
crazy.
ever had a tie-in game? Because I feel like it's ripe for it.
I mean, I feel like I'm pretty sure the original did. I think a really shitty one, but essentially it's just Ace Combat.
Yes, which is excellent.
Right. So it's like, I bet it's ironically, yes, there's quite a few.
There was an Ace Combat 2, right? I think that
There's
was
like
the one.
8. There's like 10.
Okay.
The newest one is awesome. I have
The PS2 one, I put a lot of hours into that.
There is,
and I was bad at it too. Like I never got.
Guess
to
how
a
many
point where I
Top
felt
Gun
like
games there are?
7.
There are 18.
That is absurd.
Top Gun. The second mission, which is the third one. Danger Zone, Guts and Glory, Fire Wheel, Hornet's Nest, Firestorm, Combat Zones, Air Combat 2, Top Gun, Gulf Crisis, Top Gun 2009, Top Gun 2.
I just love there's
Top
a
Gun
video game called Golf Crisis.
Top Gun
That must be
2010.
so confusing for children.
And then the last one is Hard Lock.
Hard Lock.
I had to say it like that because it just sounds right, like Top Gun Hard Lock. But yeah, so the answer to your question,
Tough Luck was trademarked by someone else.
Yeah. And it did have a canceled one. So it could have been 19.
Damn.
So to answer your question, did they make a Top Gun game? They made 18.
A resounding yes.
One of them actually has a 71 on Metacritic.
Okay.
Which is kind of surprising. All the other ones are in the 40s. I actually kind of remember the original, the second original. So there's 2 Top Gun games. Ocean Software made the first on Atari. The second one, which came out a year after the first one, was actually made on the NES, developed by Konami, which was like kind of interesting.
Oh yeah.
But I actually think I played that one because now that I look at the screens in it, I was like, oh, I did play that.
Yeah.
I also like that the second mission is the third game. And it's
there
the
needs
second
to
mission.
be.
It's also called Top Gun Duel Fighters in Japan, which is way better than the second mission.
Yeah.
Like Duel Fighters sounds like fucking awesome.
Yeah. I think they translated English better than we did.
They translated better than we wrote the English.
Yeah.
they're like the second, because basically it's Top Gun the second one. It's this, which is the third game, and they're like, no.
Yeah.
Duel Fighters. They're like second 2 duel. All right, what are we in? Fighter plane? Duel Fighters. And it's like, yeah, we should have been like, you know what, Japan, you're onto something. We'll just rewrite our shit.
Yeah. Process failed successfully.
Yeah. I think that was also developed by Konami. It would be a Japanese company. So like,
yeah,
we just are idiots.
We
being the United States.
I feel like I
by
need
the
to
way,
spend a lot more time on.
I speak for all of the US.
There's a Reddit called Tip of My Tongue, which is like stuff that you can't remember, but
it's
you
like
just like describe it, and
someone else tells you,
because it's Reddit and because it's the internet, like you get an answer to just about everything.
Yeah.
And they are like spot on, because there are
like
so
Advance
many
Wars.
Games. Exactly. Yeah. If you put it in there, you would have had a response in
like 30
minutes.
seconds. Yeah. Damn, I should have done that.
Yeah. Blast Doors was like one that took me forever to remember what it was.
Blast Doors.
Yeah. It's just like this old like nuke game. I've mentioned it on here before, but it's like
I don't think I ever played that.
a very simple, it's, you know how like you have your it's been made 100 different times, but just
Are you sure it's called Blast Wars? Because
Blast Doors.
Okay, so it's not called Blast Doors. So confirmed, I was right.
It's called Blast Doors, but it was like also like this super small game that I have no idea how we found. It was like
I found it. Do you know who the developer of that is?
Konami.
No, Fred's Friends.
That sounds about right.
And it's just like, I don't know who they are, but it's just a funny fucking name. It's Fred's Friends. Who is it? It's just Fred's Friends.
It felt like a game that was made in somebody's basement.
Yeah, it was made by developer Fred Halsman.
Yeah,
Fred's Friends Inc. I mean,
now I can't think of what like the game it's based on, but like there's 100 different games where you're just shooting like cannons or whatever.
Oh,
like Worms does it basically.
I know. I'm just saying the type of game, whatever. But like, it's
a 3D version of that.
Okay. The company's tagline actually is rewrite games that waste your time. And it's like, all right, they own it.
I could not have thought of a better tagline.
They only have one game mentioned. It came out in 96, which is Blast Doors.
Yeah.
It's like most recent games, Blast Doors. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
No, it was kind of like, it was, again, a game that like you'd usually see on like some Newgrounds type thing, but then they just,
that's what it sounds like.
Fleshed it out, and it's like, it's in 3D.
Oh, like Castle Defense. Like
yes,
Castle Defense game.
But like the terrain is all destructive.
Oh, cool.
So you would like bomb somebody, and they had like a lot of like Fat Man, Little Boy, like all the nukes were like,
you're just mentioning like Fallout names now too.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I know.
So you just had like actual nukes and stuff that you'd fire at other people. Then
Mm-hmm.
you had like shields, coolant, like a whole bunch of stuff that you try and maintain.
Oh yeah.
And if any fell like super low, then you die. And then like you could put someone in a crater and then launch napalm, and it would like fill the crater up, and you'd basically like just drown them, and their coolant would sink all the way down and whatever.
That sounds odd. Yeah, I'm looking at the screenshots of it. You were describing this way better than these screenshots look, for the record.
Well, yeah, it's from 96.
These screenshots look horrendous, but the way you're describing it, I'm like, that sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And these screenshots are like 2 megapixel, like fucking thing. It's like, it looks like an Atari with like a green map.
Yeah. I mean, I was like 9 or 10 when I played it. So
yeah,
most of it's up in the old imagination at that point.
Yeah. No, they need to remake this fucking game.
Yeah.
Like that would be
neat.
dope. Yeah, that's neato. I like it when you die, it just says dead across the screen in like giant letters.
Yeah.
It's like there's a helpful message to know if you want or not. It just tells you if you're dead.
Oh,
That's
and then
great.
they had all these taglines, and like I didn't know like what movies they were from, because again, I was 9, and they were all just like these war movie taglines where it's like nothing to smell like napalm in the morning.
Oh yeah, so it's like Apocalypse Now.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I would have known that at 9, but that's because I was well read or well watched, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Because well read is like you read a lot of books. So is well watched, you've watched a lot of movies.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, well watched.
I'd like that. We're coining that term.
I've honestly
You heard
never
it here
heard that,
first.
Yeah, I think I'm a very well watched some person. But would you say you're a well played person if you played a lot of video games then?
I don't see why not.
All right, well watched, well played. Trademarked here at Glad You Game, which is trademarked. Motherfucker.
Hell yes.
That was supposed to be higher, but I think my voice kind of cracked.
Yep.
So didn't get what I wanted to do with that intention. Speaking of which,
what we speaking
unrelated. I keep looking. If you see me turn over, it's because I'm looking at the other screen. I was like, we really need Miles Teller to buy us out or something, or a sponsor. We need real sponsors, so that way we can have a third person be the producer. So when I'm looking up all these shit of this terrible looking game that Sage describes,
yeah, we just need a reference monitor and somebody else clacking.
So we can like be like, yeah, put that shit up, and then we can have like trailers up and be like, look at this fucking. We can have Vin Diesel's thumb up here and just be like, there's thousands of hours playing Ark. And but instead it's just me getting all this content, and I want everybody to have this content. So that's what we need. Could we do it without that? Sure, but I would like more money first. So that's what we do, or any money from this.
Yeah.
But let's talk about when we're talking about money, we're talking about PlayStation 5.
Talking about sales.
Talking about sales. And
Making
what do
that
I
money
mean by that?
quick.
Not trying to be those fucking PlayStation
Shills.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Jinx, you owe me a fucking burr. A PlayStation 5.
I'll bring you up uppers.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't had a puppers.
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks is like I haven't had a puppers, and God, it's been so long. 2 weeks. So PlayStation 5 became the fastest selling console by
fastest.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I heard flaccidest.
Well, I mean, have you ever played the PS5? Trust me, you ain't flaccid. You are. It's basically like Viagra. But reported by NPD, our favorite NPD, Matt Piscadella. No, the NPD group is the one who declared this. And the NPD group, Matt Piscadella from the NPD group, which he's the analyst there. Did I say analyst? Whatever. PS5 is currently the fastest selling hardware platform in U.S. history in terms of dollar sales. The total dollar sales of Switch hardware now exceed Nintendo DS, making Switch is Nintendo's second best-selling platform in the U.S. Track history, Nintendo Wii ranks first. Switch is currently the 7th best-selling hardware in lifetime U.S. dollar sales. PlayStation 5 ranked as second best-selling hardware platform in February, both in unit and dollar sales. PlayStation 5 is currently the fast-selling hardware platform in U.S. history. Damn. So it's second best in unit and dollar sales, but it's the fastest to get the total dollar sales after 4 months in the market.
Yeah,
which is crazy. And it's like, imagine if they actually had the volume for the people that wanted it,
like the production volume. Yeah, that would be insane. That being said, do you think that like it kind of lent a little bit of that scarcity?
I mean, it's I think definitely supply and demand that played a factor in it, that every time it's there, it gets sold out.
Because like everything else, I mean, the
but if it's total
PlayStation
dollar
4
sales,
took me forever to get.
Yeah, but if it's total dollar sales, that's like it's more units is more dollars. It doesn't make a difference how much you produce. It's just how much money you made, and that's your time span.
Well, if the scarcity goes up, then you have like this artificial thing.
But that doesn't not to PlayStation. Sony's always gets them sold for 500. That's like people reselling it get the extra 500, but they don't declare that $1,000 as a PS5 sale. You know?
Yeah, I'm saying.
So that wouldn't be included.
Someone like me who, if they were like available everywhere, would just wait until like they actually felt like they needed one. But now I feel like if I see one, I'm gonna buy it just because. It's available.
You mean like because like I can't. You're not gonna see it tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's like that's a good actually. Grubal, who's been on here a couple times, still looking for it, which I thought was weird because I got just lucky with it and I kind of forgot. And it's almost like
once
the vaccine.
You have it, you're like, I don't get it. It's
it's like the vaccine when people get it, they're like, yeah, man, we got it, and everybody else is like, I'm been fucking on 8 a.m. or whatever trying to call, and it's like, and I feel like once you get it, you're probably just like, yeah, man, the second shot's on the way, it's fine. Like it's like I have the PS5 and I'm like, oh, yeah, there's no more issue getting the PS5 anymore in my head, and it's like everybody's like, fuck off, it is impossible, and it's like it's just crazy because we're March
to like finish patching up Cyberpunk and.
Yeah, well, that you could say that too. Yeah, well,
also like a bunch of games coming out.
There's a shitload of stuff coming out, so you should get it because Deathloop coming out. I know you want to play that.
I do want to play that.
There's quite a few, and you got to play Last of Us 2. I mean, it's pathetic. Have you even finished the first one yet?
No, I was thinking about it last night, and then I did dishes and laundry.
At least finish the first one.
I know, I'm right there. It's like
you're like
I feel like
you're like edging yourself.
Yeah,
so we always have to mention it. It's like. Just finish. It feels so much better.
Does it though? Because right now I feel like it's just the anticipation.
You're losing all the blood flow. You need to get the blood flow back in your brain. You need to finish it off, Sage. And then you go to the second one, which is 4 times as long. So we'll talk next year.
Yeah, that's probably accurate.
Yeah, and that's like early. That's like next year is like maybe.
I feel like I really should just start putting these things on easy. Because
the
world doesn't have time to wait for me to play.
What do you play them on now?
I think it's just normal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I need to put on like baby mode.
I play on like normal, hard, or survival mode, but no big deal.
Yeah, you also put a lot more hours in.
Well, except now Valorant just keeps taking my time. Ugh, it's so addicting because I'm like, oh, I'll just jump in for 30 minutes because the games last 30 to 45 minutes. But then it's like, it's never that because I play 4 of them.
No, yeah.
So it's like 4 hours. And I'm
especially
always
if you don't win the first one and you're like, fuck, I have to redeem
and I always
myself.
Or if I do win the first one by a lot, like I had a couple 40 kill drops, no big deal. And like one of them Max was there for and I got 42 kills. And he was like, holy shit. And I was like, that's right, dude. I'm fucking on this shit. Like I'll beat Ninja's ass. But then you're on like a runner's high, but like a gamer's high. Yeah. And it's like I always do it like, well, you can jump in and jump out. It's not like there's a story. Like Cyberpunk, I'll wake up and it's like 8 hours later. But this is like it's the competitiveness addiction that keeps you in.
Yeah.
That you're like, well, I just do one more. I can beat someone else's at. And like as we described on the last podcast, being a professional athlete myself, comparable to the collective of the Flyers or the Eagles, and like, you know, I mean,
I don't see a difference.
I've heard all the associations. I mean, people talk about enter an athlete, just the same workout routine we have, obviously just as good shape.
Yep.
You know, my body's my temple. And as a professional athlete, specifically in gaming, stratosphere, the couple hours I do, it is, you know, I can tell you that Valorant's kind of, the heart rate's up. I mean, I can tell you the blood
my
pressure
body's a
there.
temple. I treat it like a terrorist.
And on that note, no, but yeah, so not trying to be the scales of PlayStation 5 now, just circling back. Yeah, fastest selling platform in US history. I mean, that's pretty fucking cool. I mean, let's just be honest, it beat Xbox. It's great. But we'll just say that it was something worth mentioning. We don't have to keep going into it. But to kind of go back to Xbox, they finalized the Bethesda deal this week. So they do officially, before it was like kind of held up and had to get approved.
Yeah.
Because it was a big purchase. $7.5 billion. And it got approved. They did confirm that exclusives will be coming to the Xbox market. That won't come in the PlayStation, but it is the Xbox Game Pass market, which is on Xbox. So they're trying to put it to phones, and it's obviously on PC. So again, it goes into what I was saying. It's like, well, if you want your exclusives, get a PS5, a PC, and Nintendo. You will play every game under the sun, if that's what you want to do. If you like if you can't afford a PC and you really like Xbox stuff, then get a fucking Xbox.
Yep.
But if you can, it almost makes sense to get a PS5, get a mid-range PC, and then you can build it up over time.
Yeah.
Because the cool thing about PCs is you can just plug and play them. What you bought today doesn't mean what you have a year from now. You can just buy one piece at a time, just like how people upgrade their cars with this Flowmaster 3000 fucking things like we were in high school. I'm not suggesting you do that. I'm just saying you can plug and play.
We sell Flowmaster.
Yeah. Sponsored by Flowmaster. The fart can of the Honda Civic or whatever the fuck people would put those on.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want like to just have stock in every,
if you want to play all the games possible, it's
Yeah.
PS5, PC, Nintendo.
Yeah.
And that's not like an anti-Xbox thing. That's just a factual statement because everything comes out day one in Xbox Game Pass. So there's no reason to buy an Xbox. Again, if you can afford it. If you can only afford one, just get the fucking Xbox if that's what you want. I'm not trying to make it like an anti. I'm more just trying to be like, if you want to fiscally get all this shit, that way you don't have to worry about, oh, this is exclusive here and not. I'm not getting.
Yeah, you don't have to wait till it like crosses platform. You get like the initial offering when it comes out.
And I'm not getting into like
public.
are exclusives good or bad? Like there's pros and cons. Everybody has opinions about it. I like exclusives because I think they help sell and gives your product out there more. But I also get that you kind of alienate other customers. For example, if I just had a PlayStation 5 and they're telling me Starfield or the next Outer Scrolls is only going to be on the Xbox platform, that kind of does piss me off because it's like I fucking been dying to see what Starfield is because it sounds incredible, which is Bethesda's like new thing that's still a couple years away. And then also I love the Outer Scrolls games, just like a fuckload of people. I mean, Skyrim comes out like Skyrim re-releases like every other day, and it's like, oh, now it's on whatever, and then here's the re-release. It's like great.
Yeah. The only thing this reaffirms is that I'm going to need to make an investment in a PC.
At one point, you need to get there. But it's I mean, it's just if you can get there, that way you'll just be able to play everything. And PC, like some of the PS5 games are going to PC. We know like after a year, like they Horizon just went there, and a couple others are going to go there. But that's generally like a year or two later. I mean, Horizon came out like 3 years ago now, and just got there.
Like 4 or 5.
Yeah, and like Death Stranding's there now. So like some stuff will go there. So it's like if you want it all day one, it's PS5, PC, Switch, and like and it's really PS5, PC, and then Switch is like no one ever includes in this shit because when people are bitching about like this Bethesda stuff is Xbox exclusive, I didn't see a single person be like, I can't get this on my Switch. Like no one was even registering that. It was just like PlayStation or Xbox.
Yeah, well, like
as we always talk
different.
About,
you know what you're getting with those.
It's like how no one includes Disney when they're talking about good movies and stuff like that. They're like, well, this, and this. But Disney, everybody's like, well, obviously we watch Disney. Everybody watches Disney. It's not just like, oh, have I seen this Pixar movie? Yeah, I'm gonna see it eventually. It's not like, oh, did you see the new like Marvel movie? And well, now it's owned by Disney, but like this, so now it's like all kind of tied in. But everybody always sees the
Disney's
Disney.
Just going to buy Netflix in a couple of years.
Everybody always sees the Disney and Netflix or the Pixar movies. You just do. And like whether you're like 4 years old to like 50 years, people just watch it just like because it's kind of something for.
I haven't seen the most recent Toy Story.
Oh, you got it. It's actually pretty good.
I heard it was really good.
I was surprised because like the third one ends so sad, and then like 4 is like, oh, there's actually quite a good reason for it to come back. Anyways, it's on Disney Plus. But so it is definitely worth watching. But that's my point. Like it's like, oh, I gotta go watch that. And it's like Nintendo. It's like, oh, I gotta get the new Mario Party. It's like you just kind of fucking do it. So it's not really like in that competitive space. It's just something that everybody's like, well, obviously we have the Switch. Like, shut the fuck up. So why do you even mention that? Like, duh, don't be an idiot. Yeah. It's Xbox, PC, PlayStation. One of those three. Like Switch is like, obviously it's a no-brainer. So then it's like, or Nintendo generically, I should say. But yeah, I mean, it's really PS5 and PC with the Xbox Game Pass. That is important. If you get PC without the Xbox Game Pass, you don't get the Xbox exclusive stuff. But the Game Pass is like, it's like $100 a year or something like that. But you get like hundreds of free games. Like
it is
the entire Bethesda library is on there right now. You can get, instead of paying $60 for a game, like literally, if you were going to buy one single game that year, almost pays for Game Pass.
Yeah.
Like one and a half games.
Like even moderately casual,
like you. I mean, you're a good example.
Yeah,
it's a good investment for you.
Yep,
because you play Last of Us, whatever. But if like, are you gonna play Last of Us and then one other game this year? Well, it's kind of then now you can also play 1,500 other ones. Like I've said 100 times, the Game Pass is the best deal in gaming. Like, period. Yeah. Like not even close. So it's like, and now they just added all the Bethesda games to it this week too officially. So everything, but like. everything they've made is on there. It's like they had like 30
Yeah.
games last week. So it's like, it's fucking crazy. There's still some stuff
Or
that you
just
have
wait
to
for the
buy.
value to drop and then you can buy in later.
Right. And it's like, and once you download it, you own it. So if they take it off or whatever, but it's still in your library. It's like when you get the PlayStation game
Be like something eventually in the future. I mean, they do it with everything. Like Netflix is cracking down on sharing passwords and shit.
Yeah,
like that.
but this is different than that. I mean, this is why they build it for that. So it's like, and it's like they only give away like one a month. So it's not like it's like
cool.
And it's never like a huge game. I mean, it is, but it's a huge game that was huge 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So like Final Fantasy Remake is the new one for March.
Yep.
That came out like last year, and they're like, anybody who was going to buy it bought it, and it doesn't upgrade for free to PS5. But it's like, hey, you still want to fuck it? That's why they do it. But anyways, yeah. But Game Pass is kind of that on steroids. Technically, there's PlayStation Now, which is similar to Game Pass, but it's just doesn't have the content that Game Pass does. I mean, Game Pass it's incredible.
Yeah. I think I got PlayStation whatever it was called something different at the time, and then they had a like PlayStation's Fighters game that was basically like Mortal Kombat with all PlayStation characters.
Oh, Battlestars Royale.
Yes. Not great.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. It was like their version of, well, they have their version of that and their version of like Super Smash Bros.
It's if Super Smash Brothers
did I say Mash?
Only had like the obscure characters that were added 5 years later. And
yeah, it's like I think
the original.
I think it's PlayStation Battlestars Royale or Battle Royale or something like that.
It's Smash Brothers if you only have the Xenoblade characters.
PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale.
Yep.
I basically said the dyslexic version of that title.
Yeah.
And like Sackboy was in it and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it came out on like PS3.
That's the other thing too. I mean, you have the same problem with
Drake.
Smash Brothers is like going like Kratos against Sackboy and having any chance that Sackboy would like actually win in the matchup is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But somehow they still have to like balance a game. Same could be said with Bowser and Kirby. Like,
yeah. Or like the 1,500 people in that game now.
Yeah. There's a lot.
But anyway, it's PlayStation 5 fast selling console. We always get into this same argument. It's not an argument because we both are on the same page on it. But then I always hear about it. I'm just pointing out the financial best course of action and the way you get the most games. Because I think any gamer, we want as many games as possible. That's it. You are a gamer. You want to play games. You want as many games as possible. And especially as many of them potentially as free or as cheap as possible.
Also
that route to give you the most extensible area is PS5, PC with Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
Just is. That's simple as that.
Yep.
I mean, you can buy an Xbox. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying financially doesn't make a ton of sense. And our viewers seem to agree. Wait, it's right now if you don't agree. They didn't say shit. All right, we're good, baby. Don't say you're not here either. All right.
By the way, I'd also like to say that I served up several opportunities for the next topic.
I know, but we also like had to kind of go into that. But we'll get it. We'll get in the next topic because we're talking about money, talking about raising money, and we're talking about some type of sandbox situation. So let's just get into.
We are not diving back into GameStop, even though they had another absurd.
It's back, baby.
This week.
It's back, baby. We're getting into the topic that I'm sure some listeners are curious if we're ever going to touch on. We kind of didn't because people our age do play it, but not really. It's kind of more for younger audiences, and that is Roblox. Oh, okay. It's basically this creative sandbox. Think of like Minecraft, but you can develop games on top of it. Everything's kind of treated as a Lego.
It's like Minecraft and Dreams.
Yeah, it's
had a 5-year-old
right. It's
baby,
or like actually, yeah, or like you bought all the Lego sets, and your mom just threw them all on the floor without the box.
Yeah,
and was like, build your own world in this, and make your own mini games in that world with these things.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what they do.
Which is what I did as a kid, so I could see how people would find it fun.
Yeah, and it is a lot of fun. And you can create your own assets, so you can kind of create your own like character things and mini games. And there's a bunch of games built on top of it. So Roblox is really like the platform that people then build upon. So think of it as like, if you ever got the Lego sheet that was like the plastic sheet that you could put click the Legos in.
Yep.
It was like that. That's Roblox, and then you're building on top of it with the games inside. Well, Roblox will provide you some stuff, but you can also build your own. So they have a bunch of like.
It's funny that I look at it and want nothing to do with it, but you describing it to me, it, like, just makes me nostalgic for playing with Legos, and I'm like, Roblox sounds freaking awesome.
That's the thing. So it does. It sounds. I mean, it's like 7 and up is what they're recommended for. It is very like initial, like original OG Xbox Live community though. And what I mean that is it's toxic as fuck, and you will hear some shit like. There's a Facebook mom that posted that like her 7-year-old's daughter, like avatar got like gangbanged in this at a playground, which is like really fucked up. You guys can Google that and look it up. Obviously, it wasn't the kid itself. It was the avatar in the video game.
Yeah.
Like, but it's like a weird, but because of that, like they were like, we can't control. I mean, her avatar was saying being violently gang raped on a playground by 2 males and then a third. I'm trying not to laugh when I do this because that situation is like,
it's just absurd.
It's absurd, but it's so ridiculous in this that it's like, it's a video game and it's like, so it's like, why are you even playing that?
It would be funny if a 7-year-old wasn't experiencing it.
Yeah. If it was like you,
yeah,
and I would be like, that's hilarious. But like, it's like, for the record, the act is not funny. It's the context around the act that's making it kind of humorous to me. So like, you do understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, the gang rape is like terrible and all that shit, especially if like a 7-year-old's involved. Obviously, Jesus Christ. This is like, wasn't going to get into this. Probably.
It's just a toxic freaking environment, like any gaming thing left unchecked. So unless you have mods like constantly surveying every freaking room and game and whatever.
That's the thing. They do have like moderator and privacy settings to shield out inappropriate content, but they didn't catch it.
Yeah. And parents probably don't know how to set it up correctly.
Well, that and like, because they don't create all the content, so they like don't catch anything until it's like reported.
Yeah.
So like sometimes they don't recognize that is a sensitive thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's really fucked up. Actually, hold on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's a really fucked up thing. It's just ridiculous is my point when you think about it. Cause it's like, why the fuck is this even happening in this fucking game? And it's like, well, cause people are fucking pieces of shit sometimes.
Yeah.
And like, nobody should experience that shit in a game or in real life, obviously, but like in a game as well. So it's kind of just like, sucks. And it also sucks that it's like, we're 7 and up. And it's like, if you're 7 and up, you need to like be a little more security focused than if like for this kind of shit. But also as a parent, you need to be like, realize like,
watch
this is
what
like
your kids are doing.
This is like a sandbox that like anybody can do anything in, so it can get kind of fucking weird. Yeah, because like people say shit online. That's why I said Xbox Live.
It's the same thing with any other video game. It's the same thing with YouTube. It's the same thing that parents are going to experience forever. Like if you just are throwing technology at your children to try and like not spend time with them, then you're going to miss something. It's going to leak through. They're going to be exposed to something that you didn't intend them to, unless you're sitting there playing with them, reading whatever they're reading, watching whatever they're watching. You're not going to be able to completely police it and to just put it on like some random third party, especially an open world thing. You're just not going to be able to guarantee that nothing bad is going to come across it. But I mean, like, but it sounds cool. Like, what are do you have like good
Roblox
examples?
sounds cool.
Roblox sounds cool.
Not what you're describing. It's just like, be clear about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to ask the next question. Are there any like? Do you have any examples of like some of the cool games that people are making on it?
Yeah, I do. So we'll bring those. Not to go back into it, but I know
we're going to.
Is apparently that's actually like not an isolated experience. And it's like if you go to YouTube and you just type in Roblox rape, there is like shitloads of videos of people just doing it, and it's like really fucked up names and stuff. So it's like, like I don't know what they're called, like trolls, I guess, like troll jobs or something, where it's like a thing and people purposely do, and which is like, this is fuck. Like in a normal game, they'd be like, but I mean, it's fucked up. Like it's so fucked up, but it's also like if you're a parent, Google, maybe be like, all right, this game has some weird shit in it, and I need to like, if they're gonna play it, obviously you can't fully police that. Like, you gotta let them do what they're gonna do. But like,
I mean, like,
be aware of these kind of weird themes, and people are pieces of shit in online environments.
Yeah,
trolls exist, so you need to be aware. Like,
and just
some
like
fucked
even
up things
people
can happen.
just thinking
yeah.
they're funny, playing Echo VR on the Quest 2. Everyone in that chat room at some point goes down to the robot and pretends to jack it off. Like that's, I've seen it 100 times. I've done it twice.
One of the like on a Reddit thing, this guy had a pretty good description, which I'm reading this all from from insider.com, by the way. It's like a whole report about this. Which like is kind of showing that like obviously like this is ridiculous shit. And like, and I just want to clarify one more time because I don't think I was laughing because of how ridiculous it is for this to occur in a game. Yeah. Not that the context or the thing
it's the juxtaposition that you have something extremely violent happening in a cartoonily like
when it's like it's like targeted towards kids and like this shit. It's like that's ridiculous. Like what the fuck is wrong with you? So that's what I'm not like the act or like anything like. So let's get that shit right out of the way. But anyways, but I'm trying to give an actual like realistic opinion that most people probably would find a juxtaposition kind of humor because they're kind of like, what the fuck? Because it's like it sounds ridiculous when you hear it. You're like, what? This is all like thing they do? It's fucking stupid. So anyway, this one commenter on Reddit actually put it together pretty good. Robo. So again, Sage and I don't play this, so it's like this. I had to get like information. I've heard about it for a while, and I actually heard when I was playing Counter-Strike and Valorant, people talk about Roblox and how fucking toxic it is. When people are being toxic, they're like, dude. Yeah, you haven't even gotten to Robo.
So turns out a game where you're shooting people in the head is nowhere near as bad as a game where you're a little Lego man running around.
Yeah, so he said Roblox has one of the most toxic gaming communities out there. Trolling or harassment like this, referring to the event we talked about before, is very common, and because of the players' ability to create their own stuff, it's very rare to play it without something really out there happening eventually. To 100% ensure nothing like this ever happens again, though, the only reliable thing to do is forbid your child from playing anything online. Roblox, when you're by yourself, is harmless. Meaning, you can do Roblox. Roblox has an offline mode. Yeah. So you can have your kid do it. Just don't let them join the online community. Yeah. And he's kind of got a good point.
Have it set up with friends to do it. But
make like a LAN thing where it's like, this is a private server. Yeah. And my friends can jump in. And hopefully your friends aren't part of these trolls. Because that could also exist. Yeah. But there's somebody's friends, I guess.
Well, I think the problem is when you have 30-year-olds playing with 10-year-olds.
Right. That's also like a fucked up. It's like, yeah. So anyway, I mean, it's fucked up, but he does bring up a good point of like, that's kind of like the context of like the offline online mode. It's like, yeah, it's like you want your kid to do all this, like, we'll be like, you can't play on these servers. Like you have to play on your private servers. Like you said, when you play Minecraft, play in your private server with that. Absolutely. Because people in Minecraft do similar, like Minecraft can be fucked up too.
That's what I was trying to say before.
Yeah, any sandbox game or game online.
Any game, any content, anything.
Can be toxic. And like, that's why I said Xbox Live. I'm not saying the current one. OG Xbox Live was fucking toxic. Yeah. I mean, like nightmare. Now they have like whole another level of shit with the swatting crap, which is fucking disgusting. Which I'm sure you've heard about, but like, or right now.
No.
They find where a player lives. They call the like actual police.
Okay, yes,
SWAT on their house, and like kids have died because like sometimes they react differently. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, you lost the game or whatever the fuck happened. Yeah. Get the fuck over yourself. Like these people are fucking. So when you're doing this kind of shit in the game and that, it's like, fuck off. But it just is what it is. And it's just, it's something you have to know that like people are shitty. People are shitty online, period. Not gaming. People are shitty online, Twitter, Instagram. It doesn't matter because they like to, it's an online persona. It's not really me. So I can get all these weird shit in my head out or something like that. Or people just like to have thought. It's like, and then in games, it amps it up a little more. So you just have to be aware when we play online, like there could be some weird shit that's going to happen. You either have to be like, it's just a game. Don't take it too seriously. Don't get upset about it. And just leave it when you turn it off.
Any game when you go from like
or if it's a very rigid
online, it goes from whatever the rating is to NC-17 or whatever.
Mature. I will say like like Valorant is actually pretty good because they're reporting and stuff like that. They are really pretty good at that. Rainbow Six has gotten a lot better. Call of Duty is terrible, but they're trying to get better because they do bans. They'll be like, we just banned 10,000 accounts today. So like they'll do like sweeping bans because you can report and all that, and that's great. That's one way of handling it. So they do try to do what they can to be like, hey, we're not just letting this go. Yeah. But also like because the stuff is so specific, we can't like know what's going to happen in the moment. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you have to tell us, and you
Yeah.
tell us, and we can make the environment better. Just report. If you're worried about this shit and you guys want to play online, just always make sure you report people for being pieces of shit. It's really that simple. They do listen. They get a lot of reports, but that's the only way to make it better is to just define it. It's almost like building laws and bills into the game.
What?
But yeah, that's pretty much what you're doing. And it's
kind
like,
of need rules and laws to
Yeah.
make sure people aren't pieces of shit.
it's almost like people said that for like having a non-chaotic society or something like that. But I mean, it's weird. So, anyways, we two of the things we said we weren't going to talk about, I accidentally brought up, and then like because I wanted to get it out there because it's kind of like, this is fucked up. Let's just talk about it. But also like, but there's a lot of good for Roblox. So let's go into the good. I just wanted to send that we did see some of that shit. You know, that shit happens. But again, that shit can happen in a lot of online games. And for the record, I do want to make one thing clear. It's not the game that's making people shitty. People are shitty exterior of the game. They're shitty online generally. So don't bring that shit in being like games do this to people. They don't. They have not. That's not even remotely close. They're just shitty people. It has nothing to do with the game itself.
We are still glad you game.
Be very good. So apparently, RoboLox, and it's like a chat filtration system, stuff like that. People have made a lot of comments about it as well. And now going into the question you asked a while ago, they are trying to get better with more mods and things like that and more filters. So there are some games that people really do enjoy that are built on this platform. One of them is called Adopt Me, which is it's an MMO role-playing game where basically you pretend to be adopting parents with a child, or you're the child and someone else is the adopting parents.
You're playing house.
And you can also be a dog and stuff like that. And it averages 600,000 concurrent players. Yeah. So
that's insane.
And then, like, if you see it, it looks like shit too.
I feel like, I mean, this stuff always has to be contextualized, because same thing when we were like doing research, looking up videos where we're like, how does this have 4 million views? It's also just children playing it. Like,
so it's all these.
When you're saying 600,000 people, it doesn't mean 600,000
like 30
adults who like just got off of work and they're hopping on.
I can't wait to play Adopt Me.
It's 600,000 kids in quarantine, probably supposed to be doing online classes. But decide that playing houses.
So that's probably the most family friendly game of the one that are listed here. The others are Jailbreak, which is cops and robbers, which is pretty mundane for
all
that.
Games
Meep
that
City,
play.
Meep City, MEEP City. It's similar to Club Penguin and Toontown Online. It's kind of like creative thing like that. Then it's Murder Mystery 2, which basically one round you're a murderer and then you got to kill everybody, or people got to like kill you. Then there's Natural Disaster Survival, which is, I mean, pretty self-explanatory, but similar to like PUBG. People may explain it. Piggy, which is an episodic horror game that incorporates elements from Pepe Pig, an indie horror game, Granny, into a zombie apocalypse setting.
Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig. Did you know what that is?
Yes.
Oh, I've never heard of it.
My friend has a daughter, and Peppa Pig's like a thing.
Yeah, well, so this is a horror version of that, so I'm guessing that's not a horror thing, I would assume.
No, it's like a kid's show. It's actually like there's like a phenomenon that a lot of kids are developing English accents from how much they're watching it.
Oh, okay. Well, so yeah, maybe now they're getting scared shitless because of it. So it's obviously heavily inspired by that. Incorporate Royal High. It's a magical universe. It sounds like kind of like Harry Potter or Super High kind of thing.
It's weird that like a lot of this is just resonating with the fact that like these were the types of things that we would make up as kids when we were told to go play outside.
Right. That's
you have cops and robbers. You like make up
mystery.
your own little racing game. You like Manhunt. We would play all
Murder
the time.
Mystery would be like Manhunt. Be like, exactly. I mean, Piggy probably not, but like Royal High or something like that.
That's basically just trying to scare your younger siblings.
Yeah. Royal High, like pretending you have superpowers and stuff like that. That's definitely something people do.
God. All the time.
Welcome to Bloxburg is basically The Sims, it says, which I guess in our day we just play The Sims. And the other one, which I love the title of the other one because it's just no frills, just all class. It's Work at a Pizza Place, and that's the title. Yeah. And what you do is you work at a pizza place for filling orders via the tickets that come in.
There you go.
It's like, dude, And it's
Just like Cooking Mama or whatever.
I just want to see like, yeah, but Overcooked or something like that.
Yeah,
But like, but this is like just like working specifically at a pizza place, not like crazy order, like what you would get.
Yeah.
And it's like, I wonder if like
that
people
to
that
me is
own
the same when like people would get like fake vacuums for their kids. I'm like, if your kid wants to vacuum,
just let them
let them vacuum.
Yeah.
Why do you have another toy that's
with the
taking up
bubbles in
space?
it or the balls that are
Yeah.
and it's like now it's just annoying.
Exactly. It's not like it's quieter than a vacuum.
No, if it's louder and it's like now you're making a mess and it's annoying.
Yeah.
Just be loud and clean the fucking carpet. But child labor laws, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Although I don't know, well, you're not paying them. Maybe that counts. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Not a parent. So
just put Fisher Price on the front of it and then it's a toy.
Yeah. But no, this one in my head when I read this the first time, I was kind of like, I wonder if this is like if I owned a pizza place and they're like, Dad, what do you do all day? And I'm like, well, son, I get them Roblox, get them work at a pizza place. And I'm like, now when you're 16, you're gonna come
ready to go.
And but they're gonna be like, I am going to be the most efficient pizza shop person.
Like 13, 14.
Yeah. Well,
if anyone asks.
16 is what we're saying on an official, but really, I think I started helping out stuff when I was a little bit younger than that. Yeah,
and I was mowing laws at 14.
They were called chores. They're different. You're not. Yeah. I think like chores is like our parents' way of like, well, you can't have child labor laws, but children are allowed to have chores for that. And it's like, isn't chores child labor? Like, no, it's chores.
I mean, chores have been around for a
I know, but it's just funny that
child labor laws are the newer thing.
Right, but my point is that technically they would fall under the same thing because it's chores are just child labor.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, those are just chores. You just do chores.
Just chores.
It's not, it's like, okay, are you getting paid for it? And you're like, well, sometimes you get an allowance. It's like, no, child labor. It's not child labor. It's different. It's chores. It's like, what are you doing? Go mulch the whole fucking backyard. I'll see you in 6 hours.
Yeah.
Go drywall the basement. Those aren't made up things. Those are things that I did as a kid. It's like, yeah, but were those child labor? Like, no, that was just
you were drywalling as a child.
I drywalled. Yeah, I was 14, 15.
That's terrific.
Yeah, it was actually. I mean, taught me how to drywall as an adult. So like,
many adults don't know how to drywall. So
and my dad did it with me. But the mulch, he would just be like, get all that in the thing.
God, yeah.
That took like 7 hours.
Yep.
Get a good farmer stand with the t-shirt on or whatever.
My dad would always get like the least amount of mulch that he could, and then just yell at us for spreading it too thin. And we're like, we only have a certain amount.
This is how much he's like, make more mulch.
Well, if you split this one down and just,
I mean, you were probably like 12 the first time you like cut a tree down or something.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, but it's fun. I mean, but some of that kind of builds up. I think a lot of good stuff that I use as an adult, but it is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Not that our parents were doing abusive child labor. Like, let's move past that.
But anyway, the reason
we went all over the place on this podcast.
The reason that Roblox is news this week.
Yes. So it finally decided to declare as a public offering as an IPO. And all the shit I'm saying, you would think that like it's ridiculous. Not many people do this, but then we kind of hinted at that one of these games built on this platform has 600,000 concurrent people, which means that that's just one of these many games. As of May 2020, Roblox, I'm kind of ruining my trivia now, but we kind of have to say it to give more information about the IPO. It had over 10 million monthly active users.
Yeah, it's huge. It's
like
giant,
massive.
Game. Those active users, a lot of which are children, but either way, that accounts its sales. It is active users, and it's something that builds value in a company. And they IPO'd at it was going to be $45, which I was like, ooh, I'm going to get in on this. And put in like a bid for $50. Immediately jumped up to $64.75.
Yeah, it's IPO'd the first day after trading. Yeah, it ended up at $45 billion evaluation.
Yep. Yeah.
$45 billion evaluation for the thing we've been describing for last.
Yeah, also, that started at 45 and it reached 73.50 that day.
Right. And he's talking about the share price. But that which then made it a $45 billion company. Now, one would have theorized that in the future, now that it is public and with all that money, probably have some more money to do some additional modding and security. I would hope that some of that, that maybe one of the bills can
go. I mean, they're gonna have to if they want to like protect their actual stock value.
Yeah, that should be part of it. Although this existed before when it declared, so it's like people jumped on. But Now it did kind of go down. I think it's like 68 now, right? Or
I think people
65.
jumped on just because everybody's like niece or nephew or child.
Right, but my point,
is
it
like,
went down
Roblox.
from, it was up to 74, but now it's like 64, right?
Yeah.
Right, but that's still like, people thought it was gonna be 45. So it's still like, 20 above. So it's like, generally the first day you get big, it goes up high, then kind of settles out after a while. 60 is probably around the range it's going to settle, which is pretty fucking big deal.
Yeah.
And that's like, yeah. And like you're saying, everybody's like kid or niece or nephew probably plays this shit. I know my two nieces, if my sister was like, hey, they're going to play, I'm going to be like, let me fucking see what they're playing. And they're playing offline.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm aware of what it is. But it's also like, you need to fund some more of these fucking like security options in here and reporting and things like that. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy and it's good for that. But I feel like most people, at least our generation, because we're like the old fogies now or whatever they call them, right? Isn't that a thing? Like you would say
it is a thing.
Yeah.
An old fogey.
Yeah. But
it's probably going to be a slur soon.
Yeah.
That's ageist.
So fun fact actually about ageism. You can't be insulted for being ageist if you're younger than 45. You can't insult somebody younger. It's a law in, I know at least Pennsylvania, that because we're making someone's like,
oh, so like
someone made a comment towards me in my office, and I was like, that's ageist. And then they're like, it's not. We can't be ageist unless you have to be this age.
The person has to be over 45.
And I was like,
isn't that an ageist law?
I was like, isn't that ageist against like that? Because now you're like gatekeeping ageism. But yeah, like it's
again, task failed successfully.
Yeah, it's no, it's a federal law. The U.S. discrimination when you are age 40 and older, it does not protect anybody who's under 40.
Curious.
So it's like we're both like in our 30s, and they're like, way to go, moron millennial, blah blah blah. And it's like, that's ageism. I'm like, can't, you're too fucking young.
Yeah.
And it's like, to me, I'm like, isn't that youngism? Then like whatever the fuck. It's like, because I'm not cool enough to be young right now anymore. At this point, we're like middle aged or whatever. Well, not middle aged. People don't die at 60. Well, I mean, they do, but like,
I mean, according to TikTok, we're ancient. So
yeah, well, I mean, we're decrepit. But yeah, the Age Discrimination Act of 1967 is 40 and up. So it does not protect.
And you thought you were just going to learn about video games.
Yeah. But no, but it's just funny that we talked about it. I made a joke about that, and they're like, no, you can't. So it's like, what the fuck, man? So it's kind of like, that's just ridiculous. I don't even remember why I just told you that.
Roblox.
Yeah, stuff like that. But like, I would say most people our age like don't know about I like know what that is unless like you kind of like mention it. Like I know you knew about it, but like it was something like before
so
last
if
year.
You didn't know about one of the biggest IPOs this week, that's it. It's a game,
and one of these biggest gaming platforms. I mean, like I didn't know about it until during COVID when I was playing more Counter-Strike, and someone just said it, and I was like, "What's RoboLux?" And they're like, "Oh, it's just like whole like thing. Just Google it."
Yeah,
and I was like, "What the fuck?" But I didn't even know about it at all. Like I didn't know, and like
I like how an old fogey you're still kind of not pronouncing it right.
RoboLux or Roblox?
Roblox.
Oh, you spelled it wrong then for me.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
you said bold times.
No, you said RoBOLOX. There's no second middle O.
I said RoBLOX.
You said RoBOLOX. That's why our tweet says RoBOLOX. So now we look old as shit on it. People are just gonna read it and be like, "Oh my god!"
I wrote it right on the thing.
Let me look.
You know I'm not an auditory guy.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I didn't look at that. I was typing and just like RoBOLOX, and you're like, I was like LUX or LUOX, and you're like LOX, and I was like, okay, but did not correct the BO. And now all these kids are gonna be like, oh, look at these old fogies. It's like, gosh darn. No, fuck that. Not gosh darn. I'm gonna fix that tweet right now. I'm just gonna like retweet it again with the same thing, even though no one will ever know, exception of anybody that listens to this podcast. And
I also think it's like hilarious and kind of meta that we're like talking about all these children playing it, and we're like, oh, over here playing your RoboLox.
I mean, yeah, we're definitely those like old dudes that are like, back in my day, we had the Sims. But anyways, fuck that. I think we've got enough on it. Let's get the trivia. Let's switch this shit up. I got a side note. I'm going to delete that tweet. and we're gonna fix it. I'll put a new one out there, but don't tell anybody. And who am I kidding? You guys aren't listening, anyways. You lazy fucks aren't following us. I see who's following us. Also, fun fact: when I do RoboLux with the way I spelled it, it says it's spelled correctly. If I delete the L, I get the red underline saying it's not spelled right. So you know what? Even the phone and Twitter dictionary agree with me. So fuck you. Yeah, it is curious.
Now I'm wondering what a RoboLux is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a valid point. All right, whatever. Let's switch this. Let's go to something else here. Give me trivia.
All right.
All right, I'll do it first. That's fine.
Good, because we're coming off of that, and I think yours is based on that.
Roblox. Oh, yeah. RoboLux. Roblox.
Yes.
Roblox.
Yes.
Oh my god. I did not have enough coffee today. We're feeling, this is on a Saturday. We normally do it on a Sunday. I didn't have my extra day of getting it. Yeah. I've been saying RoboLux the entire podcast.
I thought it was just you enunciate words different than I do sometimes, and I was like, that's just how he wants to say it.
Roblox.
Yes.
Oh my god. That is, well, I've been whatever. Okay, so that happened.
We only have 20 minutes of it.
You can tweet me on. Yeah. I'm not gonna fix that. Fuck that. Can't wait till we tag the podcast with this, and then people are gonna be like, "You were saying this wrong the entire time." Anyways, Roblox. So it's a free to play game. Blah blah blah. It does have in-game purchases, right? So they have a virtual currency. What is the name of the virtual currency inside Roblox?
Ooh. Bucks. BUX.
It is Robux.
Oh, okay.
Close,
all
yeah.
right.
As of August 2020, how many Roblox monthly active users were there?
600. No, that's just the one game. 6 million.
164 million monthly active users, with it being played by over half of all children aged under 16 in the United States.
Holy shit.
Over 50% of all children in the country under 16 play
That's
Roblox.
Insane.
Yeah.
That also should have been a question.
It generally, well, it was just part of that. Generally receives positive reviews. Obviously, we kind of went over some that weren't so positive. So when did it release on PC?
August 2018.
September 1st, 2006, when we would have been of the age to play it.
What?
Yup. I guess it just slowly got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
But they have initial release in 2006. They found it in 2004, but the official first real release was 2006.
Interesting.
Do you want to guess the programming language they used? I can tell you, you're never gonna guess it.
I'm just gonna go C+.
I mean, that's why I said it's Lua, Lua.
Yeah.
No one ever gets it. I wouldn't expect you to guess Python either. Python's not really similar to it, but it's kind of it's like a simple. I've
heard of Python. I've never heard of Lua.
Yeah, it's like simple C. It's like a simple version of C.
Curious, cool.
Kind of like lightweight. Some people use it. It's not super well used, but it is used.
Yeah.
What platform can you play Roblox on? I'm stuck. It's Roblox sounds better.
Does it?
Fuck off. Yes.
It's blocks. It's like Legos.
Roblox.
Robot and blocks.
Roblox.
Boom.
Okay, whatever. That still sounds Roblox. Roblox sounds cooler.
It sounds more deluxe.
Yeah,
but it does.
Fuck off. Will you answer the question? What platforms can you play this fucking children's game on? God damn it!
It's PC, iPhone, Android, and then I'm just gonna guess PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch.
No, but did you know any of those before? I feel like
I've seen and or heard about kids playing it on the phone.
Windows, Mac, you did not guess.
Oh,
so Mac,
yeah.
iOS, Android, and Xbox One cannot. That's the only one you can play on.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. When could you play it on iOS, and when could you play it on Android?
August 18th.
I'll just take
August
the year.
2018.
I'll just take the year.
2018 and 2017.
2012 iOS, 2014 Android, 2015 Xbox One. Could have said that as a bonus extra credit,
Yeah.
but you did not because you are that type of person. There are a couple of defunct games in it that they basically, meaning they don't use it anymore. There was one that was widely played, and it's similar to things we've mentioned before, but it stopped going because it was based off of
Another IP.
A famous IP. So what famous IP, which then they got cease and desist. So do you know what famous IP?
I am going to say Batman.
Pokemon.
Pokemon
Bricks Bronze.
Okay. Yeah.
But yes, Pokemon was it, and then they got C&D'd by Nintendo. Obviously, they had to remove it.
I felt like someone was going to make Lego Batman on Roblox.
Oh yeah, that could be true. And then they also made their own toy line based off of people's user-generated content.
Interesting. I'm sure they got a cut.
Yes. And there's one thing. Let's go to. Oh yeah. So when COVID happened, their revenue. So obviously we talked about the revenue now, which is different because it's an IPO. So when they were still private, from February 2020 to January 2021, they experienced an evaluation increase of, obviously, because they had an influx of players. They went from a blank billion company to a blank billion company. What are the two blanks?
I'm going to go 3 to 18.
Close, actually. Pretty close. A $4 billion company to a $29.5 billion company in less than a year. That's 11 months.
That's insane.
And now they're a $48 billion company.
Yeah.
Which is fucking crazy. But dude, imagine like 10xing, well, not 10. Well, no, they did 10x now. 10xing their company in an entire year.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Well, it's pretty common for a small business.
Not for a $4 billion
common for a company after they hit the billion mark.
Right. Going from 4 billion to that, it's like
that's unheard of. Yeah.
And have 50% of America playing.
Yeah. Like I don't even think you saw that from like Google, Apple, Facebook, any of those companies.
Yeah, I would not expect so. I mean, that's pretty crazy. They did get obviously noted acts that we kind of talked about, and they had all this other shit.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into. You can look it up. There's an NBC News thing about it that involves other shit that we don't want to get into. There can be some shitty people on it. Let's move on. With that, let's just end the trivia there. You go with your trivia.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
because I'm going to bring up something else.
I am going to. We're going to talk about unit sales of different systems.
Oh wait, hold on. They changed their icon. Was it ever RoboLux? No.
So, unit sales of video game systems total.
Roblox.
All right.
Do I say the number or the system?
I'm going to give you the system. You give me the number.
How many units they sold?
Yes.
Gotcha.
And I'm going to give you a.
What's the time frame?
10 ever. I'm going to give you a 10 million unit.
Okay.
Wiggle room. PlayStation 1.
90.
PlayStation 3.
For the record, 90 million units.
Yes.
Not like 90 units.
That's what I figured. PlayStation 2.
140.
PlayStation 3.
100.
PlayStation 4. Actually, I'll just tell you because
150.
it's going to be dumb to go back and review it all anyway.
Okay.
PlayStation 1 was 90. So boom! Very close.
I said 90.
Oh, sorry. It was 102.
Oh, what the fuck? Like, what the hell are you doing?
You said 90. It was 102.
Yeah.
PlayStation 2, 155. You said 140.
Yeah.
So again, pretty close.
Yeah.
PlayStation 3 was 87. You said 100. Again,
I'm like within 15 of all
pretty
of them.
close.
Yeah.
Too bad I said
Not
the 10 million. Yep. PlayStation 4.
I said 150.
Wrong. It is 114. Yep. All right.
That was the first one I was really wrong on. The other ones I was like right on.
No,
the
you were
ass.
you were doing quite well.
Yeah.
The Nintendo DS family.
Oh God, I have no idea. 124.
154.
Fuck.
Yep.
But I got the 4 and the 1 right. So
This is true.
pretty much the same.
GameCube.
88.
21.
Yeah. I knew it wasn't going to be as big as the other ones. So I was like, yeah.
Game Boy and Game Boy Color.
120.
118. Ding, 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 ding.
That's bullshit. It should be within 15 because I should have like 10 of these right already.
I made the rules in the beginning and we are not going to change them.
I mean, it's a pretty large scope or whatever. Okay.
The Wii.
150.
101.
Wow, that is surprising.
Right?
Yeah.
And last but not least, the Switch.
I mean, I wanted to say 140.
You'd think so. 79.
Oh, actually, no, that kind of makes sense because it is still relatively new.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, I should have thought about that.
I was definitely surprised by that.
Yeah. I will say I only really got 2 like very wrong. All the other ones, like I'm in the ballpark.
Yeah, you seem to be pretty upset about it.
Well, because,
Xbox.
I thought you were done. Which one? Xbox
original. Because if I say Xbox One, we know that that's
Yeah.
a fucking
50.
24.
Damn, that sucks.
Right? Xbox 360.
That's going to be a lot higher. They also stopped reporting these at some point, I know. But let's say 80. Wait, 87.
84. Good
Whoa.
job. Hell yeah. And Xbox One.
65.
48.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting. That,
Yeah.
like, it varied as widely as it does. Like, the fact
Still haven't
that
hit the 100 mark.
PS2 was 155.
Oh, PS2 is like
and
dominant.
Xbox is 24.
Yeah.
Just, it puts it in perspective.
Yeah, I mean, it does. Yeah, I mean, well, PS2 is also widely considered like the greatest console ever made.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised N64 wasn't on that list.
I mean, it was. I just didn't put it down.
Okay, gotcha.
There was like 40 things on the list.
Yeah.
And we just needed to
The reason why I
keep it
guess
tight.
I've read that list before.
Fair enough.
We've talked about that list on this podcast before. So,
Fair
but
enough.
not like those specific numbers. It was more just always like a graph showing which one sold more. Like,
Yeah.
I think it had like it didn't say like the full amount. So that's why I was like, I know it's like higher than
I love
140
that
in this.
YouTube like moving graph.
Oh, I
where you
love
see
it.
them
Yeah,
like
and they overtake
one
each other. I
Yep.
think that's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
I don't like it when it doesn't give you a ton of information though, because I've seen a couple and it's just going so fast. I'm like, I can't understand what's happening right now.
Yeah.
But
There's
it's cool.
like 8 different ones changing places.
Right.
at the
And it's
same
like,
time.
what's happening? But like the game one, it's pretty clear and you can be like, oh, this is when this happened and this. And it's like, you see it just dominant. And then when you see like PS2, it's like, holy fuck, it's like taking over. Although I thought PS4 was actually a lot closer than it was. I could have sworn that it was supposed to get like to the 140 mark. I know it broke the 100 mark, but surprise is only like 114 or whatever you said.
And again, this is pulled off Wikipedia, and it's probably
Oh, that's probably no. They police Wikipedia pretty hard now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, and you were saying there's stuff like stop reporting sales after.
So
a certain point,
to be fair to Xbox, they stopped reporting because they were getting the shit kicked out of them. PS4 is outselling it 7-1 for 3 months. So they I remember this specifically because I was like in an argument about it. I was like, dude, and I pulled up like Forbes and it was like 7-1 PS4 to Xbox One.
Yeah.
So Microsoft's like, we're no longer going to report like annual metrics on this.
Yeah.
So it's like, but it's like you did that because you were getting, and then I think it ended up only being like 3-1. But it's like, yeah, that's why you stopped reporting it because you were getting the shit kicked out of you.
I also forget who I talked to.
And I'm not trying to be anti-Microsoft. I'm just pointing out that's a thing they did. That really happened.
I forget who I talked to. It could have been you.
But
that there was like a upgraded Switch.
There's supposed to be a 4K Switch Pro.
But like there was already like an upgraded one that came out and it was like super under the radar. They like increased
the one that's
the
all
processor.
the one that's all one piece.
No, it's like the same thing and just the processor is better in it.
Oh.
And the only way that you know is through the serial number.
Oh.
Again, I heard this just through like conversation with somebody, so I don't know how valid that is, but
I'm not sure if that. Oh, I know they're making a new Switch.
Yeah, the like 4K,
the Switch Pro.
Yeah,
they keep like.
I would very much like to revisit Breath of the Wild. As anyone who hasn't listened, to this before. I bought this like big ass 75-inch 4K TV, and the first thing I used it for was to play Breath of the Wild, which is 1080. Still awesome, still hella fun, still beautiful.
So
but
they
not.
upgraded to a Switch V2, a Switch it's version 2, from version 1. It's actually really just the battery. The biggest difference in the new model lets you play up to 9 hours, a vast improvement from the ability of 6.5 hours. They basically increased the battery size in the V2. It's designed almost identically. It came out in 2019, by the way. It's the screens are the same.
Yeah, I think the processing was just more efficient processor, not necessarily a higher powered processor, which would make the battery life better as well as increasing the battery size.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't say anything about it. They just literally just increased the size of the battery.
Oh, all right. There you go.
And just it's just everything, and it does. The only way you could tell is the, like you said, the serial number.
Yeah, which is just interesting for like to obviously there was some like R&D and production money put into that, and the fact that it wasn't like really marketed much is interesting.
Yeah, it's just they even advertise it as just longer battery life.
Dope.
So, which is great. I mean, but I never really played it out off charge. So I guess it wouldn't really affect me that much, but that's great that like 9 hours is kind of like, that's a good amount than 6.5.
Going from 75 inches to 7 is
not talking about that dick.
I would just be on a
75 inches. That'd be like, that'd be crazy.
Bullwhip.
Yeah, like, well, bam! Oh, that'd be like that Catwoman video. See Michelle Pfeiffer do it all in one take. It's like going around the interwebs these days. So that's a nice way to tie it up. And on that note, we're glad you came, baby. What a weird episode. Hopefully we're not canceled or anything, but we should be fine, right?
Yeah,
we're good people. Love y'all. Keep listening. Keep gaming. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Au revoir.
Fucking French. No. Oh shit. I didn't stop it. Now I'm going to stop it. All right, let's do that again. Bye. Glad you game.
Deuces.
No, dude, you got au revoir was cool.
Au revoir.
No, because you couldn't read French because I sent you the
au
game.
Revoir, asshole.
Side note, fake ending twice.
Au revoir.
I sent Sage
I'm the one editing it.
I sent Sage a French meme because he always talks about how French he is, and he couldn't read it.
Yeah, it was like full on French.
Yeah, it was hilarious though, because it's like I don't buy any new games until I finish the ones I have. I'm like, yeah, but then it has the wink face from Agatha from WandaVision, which is so true because I'm always like, I gotta finish these games before I get new ones, and then it's like, well, I want to play the new one now.
Yeah, this one was on sale, so
yeah, exactly. I feel like all of us could do that. I don't know why I got it recommended to me in French. Like they must have heard that I like know a French guy.
It's all right. I get all my YouTube ads in Spanish.
Do you really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But only in my house, not at work.
Well,
still the
you
same
talk
account.
A lot of Spanish in your house?
Nope.
All right, glad you game. Bye.
Adios.